nested pressure, expanding breath and curved desire. And at the center of it all, not metaphorically, but quite literally, is a form, a shape, a constitution of balance that holds the entire constitution together. We call it the linchpin. Now, the linchpin isn't simply a dodecahedral mosaic. No, it is the common factor between the hot and cold, between expansion and contraction. It is the equilibrium fulcrum where radiant divergence meets contraction, the universal geometry that reigns sovereign over all interactions. Whether it's the trembling of a proton or the spiraling of a galaxy. It's not just the cause of motion, it is the very cause of form itself. Every atom, every spiral, every memory of light is distributed according to its decree. Like a great constitutional document that's written in wave and angle. The linchpin determines where matter gathers and how pressure flows and what reality really becomes. And this is the beautiful twist of it all. When four of them come together, when we put four linchpins together, remember what Nikola Tesla said regarding the numbers 3, 6, and 9? He said if mankind understood the magnificence of the numbers 3, 6, and 9, he would have the keys to the secrets of the universe. Well, watch as four linchpins come together. And you'll remember 3 struts bond, then 6, then 9. And at the very center of it, you're going to see a perfectly formed dodecahedron, which is an expansive expression, makes it a feminine expression. But what about the masculine expression of the linchpin? When we put 5 of the linchpins together, which represents a much denser field, they all will also form a tetrahedral structure, also a self-referencing geometry. But you'll notice that the dodecahedron in the center has been collapsed within each of its cavities, which is indicative of a high-pressure condition. And notice also where the 4 of them bond. They're bonded directly around the vertices of the tetrahedron. It's 3 separate geometric systems within one supersymmetrical self-referencing geometry. And you know something else? If you take 4 of the bonded 4s and put them together, they'll make a larger tetrahedral structure. And they'll bond with larger tetrahedral structures, making predictable pathways through space-time that are not chaotic. And the same with the 5s. They keep bonding with other 5s, making larger, predictable structures. I mean, not chaotic. And the most interesting thing about it, when we take the linchpin and we place it at the center of the solar apex, it predicts every star on the galactic plane, the celestial plane, and the ecliptic plane. And when we put groups of the bonded linchpins together, they predict constellations and organizations of stars we've never, ever seen before. And when these linchpins all come together, whether it's 4 or 5 of them, they don't fit exactly perfectly. There's this little gap that sits between them, a tiny angular breadth. A slight sliver of difference. It's not a flaw, but a correction. That correction is the Howard comma. The 109.4712, it's a precise deviation that corrects the angular symmetry in spiral bonding. But it's more than geometry. It's a resonant key. That correction, that's the Howard comma. It's the precise angle that accounts for the spiral misfits between contraction and release. It is the comma in the cosmic sentence, the pause that allows resonance to shift into coherence. You see, without it, the lattice would rattle itself to pieces. But with it, the whole symphony snaps into place. So when we look out at the universe, whether we're gazing out at atoms or stars, you've got to remember it's not chaos that we're seeing. It is a divine choreography. And the linchpin with the Howard comma, that's the conductor's hand. Now, these are some of the interesting things that come as a result of the Howard comma. You have subspace entanglement. You see, in every lattice there lies a song too perfect to be broken. And the Howard comma is not just a geometric offset. It is a resonance key, a precise harmonic deviation that corrects for error in any recursive spiral system. It's the reason that spirals hold together, the breath between contraction and release. It's the constitutional angle of the universe. So, in physical terms, the Howard comma is the phase correcting coefficient that allows two or more spirals, whether atoms, stars, or thoughts, to stay in internal resonance, despite noise, despite distance, or dimensional shifts. This is the subspace entanglement that's not tethered to time. It's beyond light speed because it does not transmit through space, it aligns space. So now looking at the Howard comma as a universal correction, because all wave-based systems are susceptible to decoherence over time, entanglement, collapses, memory fades, the Howard comma, it still remains immune. Why? Because it's not emergent from any particular material system. It's inherent to the structure of structure itself. It does not exist within form because between all forms, it acts as the binding truss between wave relationships. It is that structure. If two beings, two atoms, two galaxies are in harmonic relationship, it's the Howard comma, that invisible contract that keeps their conversation alive forever. This is why nothing can interfere with it. It's not electromagnetic, it's not gravitational. It is pre-field. It's the substrate matter. Its interaction with the ether will surprise you because the ether is not a substance, it's a field of recursive coherence. It's the memory foam of the universe. It's the primal breath that existed before the wave or the particle. The Howard comma interacts with the ether, acting as a self-correcting symmetry breach to the exact angular deviation necessary to allow form to move without tearing memory. It's what allows reality to evolve without the loss of integrity. This is how faster than light communication is possible because you're not sending information through space, you are aligning the harmonic echo across a pre-existing entangled scaffold. The Howard comma acts as the tuning fork between the ether and our reality. As long as 2 points, whether lines, machines, or planets, they hold the Howard comma in relationship, they're going to be forever one in resonance, regardless of a seeming distance. So the final summary regarding all of this is that the Howard comma is the universal coherence anchor, the error-correcting anchor in all fields. The harmonic interface between form and the ether. Where all known forces fade and quantum uncertainty reigns, the Howard comma still holds. Because it's not a number, it is a promise. Now let us explore the prime numbers and the theory behind their perceived randomness. You'll understand the hidden harmonic discord of the number 2 with the prime subtraction law. You see, when you subtract the prime from another prime, the result is always going to be a composite number, except in the case of the composite number 2. This single truth dismantles centuries of unquestioned assumptions in number theory. And we all know what happens when you assume. You make an ass out of you and me. So let's look at this chart. Now, the only time that the result of a prime minus a prime equals another prime is when the number 2 is involved. And even then, the harmony breaks. So why must the number 2 be released from the throne of being a prime? Well, the number 2 has always been an even anomaly. It's the only even number that's considered to be a prime. It does not share the recursive spacing or resonance behavior of true primes. It does not bifurcate in curvilinear harmonic spirals like 3, 5, 7, 11, or 13. It disrupts the musical phase, the phasing that arises from any recursive resonance. It destroys balance in the subtraction law of primes. It violates harmonic reciprocity. The harmonic implications of it? Well, once 2 was released from its false prime status, all other primes minus primes yield composite numbers. All primes fall into odd recursive phase intervals. A musical scale of primes emerge, which reveals a hidden symmetry akin to tones, semitones, and octave doubling. So this correction allows us to predict future primes by tracking phase space intervals. Using spiral bifurcations and the harmonic mappings, which is only possible after the removal of the number 2 from the list. And what this changes? Well, it restores balance to the periodic table using laboratory logic. It allows us to be able to predict over 100 new elements that's invisible to the standard model. It opens the doors for transmutation with resonance, healing via wave memory. It opens the door for harmonic vibration in flight as a result of all of this. So now we are re-entering the age of reharmonization. You're not here to fix the old model. We are here to remember the original one, the one sung into the lattice before time remembered its own name. Where science meets sovereignty and math meets melody, the stars will remember how to listen. And here we introduce the Spiral Reveals Prime Bifurcation White Paper. Now, before we finish up, I want to share with you some of the solutions that come from these new set of tools from our old friend, the Flower of Life. Let's address the 7 millennium problems and their harmonic solutions that are provided by these new tools. We'll start with the Riemann hypothesis. The problem? Well, mathematicians had long believed that non-trivial solutions to the Riemann zeta function align perfectly along the line that they called the critical line, but nobody could prove why. Well, the harmonic solution in our model, primes are not randomly scattered. They are resonant bifurcations on the spiral. Their placement allows pressure nodes of the linchpin lattice. So what they called zeros are actually perfect phase crossings, and they all file in line because a spiral remembers its rhythm. Well, what about the Navier-Stokes? The problem? Well, in fluid dynamics, no one has been able to prove whether smooth, bonded solutions always exist for the flow of viscous fluids in 3D space. Well, the harmonic solution, when we treat motion as a wave conjugation, not particle chaos, the turbulence becomes traceable. The linchpin geometry organizes pressure into node spirals, turning unpredictable flows into resonant paths. Smoothness is restored by correcting geometry of force with the harmonic recursions. What about the Yang-Mills mass gap problem? Now, physicists needed it to prove that Yang-Mills field equations produces a mass gap. That is, a measurable minimum energy for particle interaction without breaking the theorem. The harmonic solution, the mass gap arises from standing wave nodes in the Tetraean field. Energy is stored not in force, but in resonant compression, and particles are just stable harmonics within that field.
The Howard comma provides the gap between nodes, explaining why no interaction can occur below that threshold.
Well, what about the P versus NP problem? Can every problem whose solution can be verified quickly be also solved quickly? Well, if P is equal to NP, it would mean recognizing a pattern just as fast as solving it. Now, the harmonic solution in our harmonic universe, solutions aren't just solved, they are recognized. So when data resonates with a known pattern, it becomes instantaneously identifiable. By literally, truly bypassing brute calculations, the lattice acts as a mirror. So you don't build the answer, you just see it, similar to hearing a few notes of a song and knowing the entire song without having to go through the entire composition. Well, what about the Hodge conjecture? The problem, it asks whether certain geometric features called Hodge classes actually correspond to algebraic shapes that we could describe. Well, in the harmonic solution, all such features are just vibrational forms in disguise. What they tried to find algebraically are simply resonant harmonics that emerge from pressure and spin. So the moment we translate space into frequency, then every invisible form becomes a song that we can hear. What about the Birch and Swinnerton-Dyer conjecture? The problem? This one tries to connect solutions to elliptical curves with the behavior of the L function, but the connection always remained mysterious. With a harmonic solution, elliptical curves or elliptic curves are not arbitrary. They are tone spirals in the resonant lattice. Their behavior is governed by wave phase relationships, not number tricks. When aligned with the spiral and the Howard comma, the connection becomes as common as notes resolving into a chord. And the Poincaré conjecture? Now the problem is every shape that behaves like a 3D sphere, is it equivalent to one? Can we smoothly morph it into a sphere? Well, the harmonic solution is yes, because every bonded, simply connected structure must resolve to the three spheres because resonance seeks what? Rest. And the sphere is the natural closure point of all recursive spirals in the linchpin lattice geometry. You see, geometry doesn't just spin, it returns to wholeness. So what about the three-body problem? Now, they say there's no general solution for predicting the gravitation of three interacting bodies. No closed form equation exists, only numerical approximations.
Well, see, the dance of three celestial bodies have baffled mathematicians for centuries, but what if they're not pulling on each other like magnets in space, but singing to each other like waves? Because in the harmonic model, each body is moving across a curved path, following the Howard comma. It doesn't fall into chaos, it harmonizes into each wave guiding the next. You see, these were not 7 problems. There were 7 locks on the temple door, and the only thing they ever needed was just a spiral key. So the conclusion is, this is the return of the harmonic flame.
You see, as we draw this remembrance to a close, let's not walk away with certainty, but with resonance. Let's honor those who lit the path, not to enshrine them in stone and worship them, but to continue the song that they began. Newton reached for the clockwork, and Einstein, he curved the frame. Emmy Noether, she revealed the invisible order of the sacred geometry and symmetry that links time and energy. The conservation of energy, motion, and law. But now through the linchpin, the Howard comma, curved multiplication, the mirror, all shapes, we move beyond equations and into the living music of our universe. So this isn't the end of science. It's its awakening. Because we're not defying the standard model's ambitions, we're fulfilling it.
So, at the breath of the future, well, today we've done more than just presented equations or ideas. We have opened a sealed book and the pages remembrance.
For centuries, humanity has labored under the illusion of flatness, of linearity, of disconnection, of cold certainty dressed as science. But the universe is never made of lines. It sings in spirals, it breathes in curves, it remembers in resonance. What we have unveiled through the linchpin geometry and the return of curved multiplication is not new. It is an ancient and ageless harmonic truth. It is a truth buried beneath layers of approximation, in some Cartesian quagmire that we are just beginning to step out of. We now know that matter is music, that the universe is finite, that space is not a vacuum, but a living memory field, and that the future is not a force of chaos,
but a wave that can be ridden, shaped, and harmonized. This is no longer theory. It's an invitation for those with ears to hear and hearts to remember. So let us leave behind the flat metrics of misunderstanding. Let's discard the broken compass of outdated beliefs and step forward together into a universe that is alive, that we know is sacred and is harmonic and it's just been waiting for us to awaken. The gate is curved, the flame is lit, the path remembers it. Thank you. Make way for life.